Tired of your own mind being the only obstacle between you and your biggest goals? It's not a willpower problem, it's a programming problem. Welcome back to a new chapter of The Secret Code of Success, the 5 lessons nobody taught you about your subconscious mind. This series is designed to give you the definitive guide to reconfigure your brain, dismantle subconscious barriers, and unlock a level of success and clarity that most people never experience. In this series, I will give you the necessary tools to achieve a complete transformation of your being, from the fundamental architecture of your mind to the mastery of discipline and mental fortitude. In the previous chapter, Unstoppable Discipline, we installed the practical system for converting daily action into inevitable results. You learned to use the science of habit and identity to convert your daily effort into permanent achievements. You discovered the key to discipline, and why, even so, do you feel your energy scattering, preventing you from generating the level of impact you expect? Now it's time to move forward. It's time to stop wasting your potential on multitasking. In this chapter, you will install the only skill that will transform your discipline into extraordinary results in mastering deep focus and eliminating distraction, where you will learn the practical system to concentrate deeply and work with an intensity that surpasses talent alone. Are you ready to stop being a spectator in your own life and take control of your creative consciousness? If this idea resonates with you, give me a like so this message reaches more souls. And share in the comments, what distraction would you eliminate today to guarantee your first hour of deep focus? Let's begin. Mastering deep focus and eliminating distraction. Focus is the invisible force that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Being the ability to concentrate deeply, work with intensity, and maintain unwavering attention is the true engine of success, surpassing talent and ambition alone. In the current context, a world saturated with notifications and glorified multitasking, deep focus has become the rarest and most valuable skill. When the mind engages in this deep, uninterrupted work, it can achieve in hours what would otherwise take days. But this state is not accidental. It is the result of deliberate effort, conscious control over the environment, and the cultivation of habits that reinforce a focused mindset. Distraction is much more than a simple annoyance. It is a silent thief of potential. Every interruption, whether an intrusive thought, an email, or a ringing phone, has a significant cognitive cost. Studies show that after an interruption, the brain needs approximately 23 minutes to recover the depth of concentration it had before. This means that allowing constant interruptions is not just losing a few seconds, but systematically sabotaging the ability to perform at the highest level. The modern world is designed for consumption and distraction, not for deep work. Therefore, mastering focus demands freeing yourself from the cycle of reactive attention, reclaiming control of your mental energy, and structuring life around sustained concentration. To achieve this, it is fundamental to understand the science of attention, which distinguishes between 2 main modes. The state of reactive attention, the default operating mode for most people, where external stimuli, sounds, notifications, dictate where the mind goes, a survival mechanism now hijacked by technology, and deliberate focus. The latter is a state of conscious and controlled attention, where the mind is directed to a single objective without yielding to distractions. This is the mode in which deep work occurs, the breeding ground for the brightest ideas and the production of works of extraordinary depth. Achieving this deliberate focus requires training and is what distinguishes those who achieve greatness from those who remain in mediocrity. And speaking of barriers, the biggest enemy of modern focus is digital distraction. To reclaim control, eliminating digital distractions, we must recognize that devices, ironically designed to improve productivity, have fragmented the capacity for attention. Smartphones, social media, and endless notifications condition the brain to seek constant stimulation, reinforcing a dopamine-driven cycle of distraction. The modern person is not simply distracted, they are addicted to distraction. Reclaiming focus requires a disciplined and conscious strategy, which includes eliminating non-essential notifications, limiting social media to scheduled time blocks, and creating a designated focus zone, silencing the phone and closing unnecessary tabs to ensure an interruption-free work environment. This discipline leads us to the implementation of the deep work method, structuring maximum productivity. Deep work is the pinnacle state of focus, where work is produced that is not only efficient but exceptional. It doesn't happen automatically. It demands intentionality and structured routines, such as scheduling deep work sessions, blocking specific hours that must be treated as sacred, creating a pre-work ritual that functions as a mental signal for the brain, exercise or breathing, and working in 90-minute cycles followed by brief breaks, which aligns with the brain's natural attention capacity, maximizing efficiency and preventing burnout. The true key is sustained intensity, ensuring that focus remains sharp without falling into mental exhaustion. A common mistake that undermines this method is monotasking, mastering the myth of multitasking. Multitasking is a myth that destroys focus, increases errors, and weakens cognitive performance, as the brain does not manage multiple complex tasks simultaneously. Instead, it quickly switches between them, which results in fragmented attention and lower quality of work. For true efficiency, it is imperative to adopt monotasking, lending full attention to a single task before moving to the next, which boosts productivity and improves the quality of the final result. Strategies for monotasking include organizing tasks into focus sessions, grouping similar activities, and eliminating unnecessary task switching. Developing a focused identity. Focus is more than a skill, it is an identity. Those who perceive themselves as easily distracted unconsciously reinforce that limitation. The path to mastery is actively cultivating the mindset of unwavering focus and discipline. This identity shift is achieved through self-perception, replacing distracting thoughts with concentrating thoughts, and seeing yourself as someone who works with intensity and purpose. Furthermore, surrounding yourself with focused people helps reinforce this new identity. By making focus a central part of the identity through daily practice and structured habits, distractions lose their power. The noise of the world will always exist, but those who master focus rise above it, forging their path to greatness with unwavering concentration. Focus is the greatest competitive advantage. The rewards of deep work, greater productivity, deeper creativity, and the ability to achieve extraordinary feats are immense. The question is not whether focus can be developed, but are you willing to train your mind to achieve it? Master focus, and you will master your future. The path to greatness begins with control of your own mind. If you are ready to break the cycle of distraction, sow the seed of unbreakable focus, and start creating the work of your life, write in the comments, "I choose focus." Smart time management and prioritization. If deep focus is the force that propels extraordinary work, time management and task prioritization are the maps and the compass that ensure that force is applied in the right direction. Without a solid time structure, even the most intense concentration can be wasted on low-value activities. Real productivity is not measured by hours worked, but by the quality and impact of the results produced, which demands a master skill in distinguishing the urgent from the important. To achieve this distinction, it is crucial to go beyond to-do lists, the Pareto Principle. Most people manage their time with long to-do lists, which often leads to a feeling of busyness without real progress. However, for the deep work practitioner, the key lies in the Pareto Principle, the 80-20 rule, which posits that 80% of our valuable results come from only 20% of our efforts. Effective time management begins, therefore, with the identification of that critical 20% of activities that generate the greatest impact. Smart prioritization demands a mindset of selective exclusion. Instead of asking, "What else can I include in my day?" the focus must be, "What can I eliminate, delegate, or postpone to free up time and energy for my deep, high-value work?" This exclusion is what truly clears the path to apply the intensity of focus. Once this mindset is adopted, it becomes indispensable to have a decision-making tool, which is why we move on to using the Eisenhower Matrix, separating the signal from the noise. This matrix is one of the most powerful tools for prioritization, helping to classify tasks and make clear decisions on how to approach them. In the important and urgent quadrant, due immediately, are crises and critical deadlines, tasks that must be minimized with good planning. Conversely, in the important and not urgent quadrant, schedule, resides deep work and activities that generate long-term impact, planning, skill development. These being the tasks that should occupy the majority of scheduled focus sessions. The not important and urgent tasks, delegate, such as interruptions or emails without strategic value, must be transferred. Finally, the not important and not urgent tasks, eliminate, must be discarded entirely. By applying this matrix, the professional ensures that their focused energy is directed predominantly toward the important and not urgent tasks, which are the true drivers of progress and mastery. Once tasks have been prioritized, the next step is to give them a firm placement on the calendar, which leads us to time blocking, the physical framework for focus. Time blocking is the technique of assigning specific time blocks to specific tasks, including deep work, meetings, email, and even rest, transforming the calendar from a simple scheduling tool into a detailed action plan. This technique is crucial because it respects the finite nature of mental energy. By scheduling the task, the commitment to monotasking during that block is also scheduled, eliminating the need to make decisions about what to do next. Time blocking converts the intention to focus into a non-negotiable and predictable action. Finally, for the system to endure, we must implement routines and review, the cycle of continuous improvement. Time management is not a single event, but a system of continuous improvement. Sustained success depends on two essential components: the establishment of closing and opening routines that allow the mind to disconnect at the end of the day, knowing that the day has been productive, and prepare the brain for focus mode at the beginning, and a weekly review dedicated to evaluating long-term goals and adjusting future time blocks. This ensures that the prioritization remains aligned with the overall vision, preventing daily urgency from diverting the path. Ultimately, time management and prioritization are acts of self-discipline and foresight. Just like mastering focus requires training the mind to resist distractions, mastering productivity requires training the will to continuously choose the difficult, high-impact tasks over the easy, urgent ones. By integrating smart prioritization with the discipline of deep work, you not only manage time, but you build a legacy with precision and clarity. You no longer have excuses to waste your focus. Now you have the map: the Pareto Principle, the Eisenhower Matrix, and time blocking. Mastery is not an accident, it is a daily decision. If you are ready to apply these tools and dedicate your energy only to the 20% that will truly give you results, I want you to show me your commitment. Write in the comments, "I prioritize my 20%. We have learned to master deep focus and time management, and we have learned that attention is your most valuable resource for multiplying your results. In the fifth and final installment, we will apply the control, mental, and emotional in Unstoppable Mindset: How to Turn Adversity into Your Greatest Ally. In this chapter, you will learn to reconfigure adversity and failures to propel your success. I will teach you to use setbacks and obstacles as the raw material to build an unbreakable mental fortress. If you want to stop being a slave to external circumstances and become the architect of your reality, I'll see you in this next chapter. Hit like if this message has impacted you, and subscribe so you don't miss the epic finale of the Secret Code of Success series. Remember, focus is not something you find, it is something you protect from distraction. Until next time.